Commander Elena Rodriguez stared at the massive alien ship through the viewport of her cruiser. The Zelani vessel was 3 times the size of her own ship, its golden hull gleaming under the harsh light of the binary star system. Around them, the combined fleets of the Galactic Confederation stretched as far as the eye could see. All human ships. "This is Admiral Vextar." The alien voice crackled through the communication system. His words were cold and formal. "Your services to the Confederation are no longer required. You have 1 standard day to gather your forces and return to your home systems." Elena felt her stomach drop. After 30 years of fighting for the Confederation, bleeding and dying on their battlefields, this was how it ended. A simple dismissal, like firing an unwanted worker. "Sir, what about our colonies?" asked Lieutenant Morrison from the communications station. His young face was pale with shock. Elena activated her personal communicator. Around her, she could see other human ship commanders doing the same thing. Captain Yamamoto of the destroyer Tsunami looked as stunned as she felt. Colonel Petrov's face on the screen was red with anger. "They cannot do this." Petrov growled in his thick accent. "We have treaties. We have rights." But Elena knew better. She had been fighting in galactic space longer than most. She had seen how the alien powers treated species they considered beneath them. Humans had always been useful soldiers. Nothing more. The truth was simple and brutal. Humans were too good at war. They adapted too quickly. They found solutions that made the aliens uncomfortable. While other species fought with careful rules and ancient traditions, humans improvised. They built weapons from scrap metal and won battles they should have lost. The Confederation had used human creativity when it suited them. Now that creativity had become a threat, over the next few hours, the messages kept coming. Human colonies throughout Confederation space received the same ultimatum: join an alien species as second-class citizens, or leave with the rest of humanity. Most chose to leave. Elena watched as transport ships filled with human families began the long journey back to Earth. Children pressed their faces against the windows, looking back at the only homes they had ever known. Adults carried what few possessions they could manage, leaving behind entire lives. The worst part was the silence from their former allies. Species that humans had fought alongside for decades suddenly acted like they had never met. Treaties were canceled overnight. Trade agreements disappeared. Even personal friendships between human and alien soldiers seemed to vanish. Elena remembered fighting next to a Koran warrior named Thexval on the moons of Proxima 7. They had saved each other's lives multiple times. She had considered him a friend. Now his people voted to expel humanity without a second thought. The journey back to human space took weeks. Elena's small fleet joined hundreds of other human ships in a massive convoy. Families, soldiers, scientists, traders. Everyone was heading home to a region of space that suddenly seemed very small and very alone. When they reached the borders of human territory, Elena saw something that broke her heart. Massive alien ships were removing the hyperspace beacons that connected human space to the galaxy. Without these beacons, human ships would be trapped in their small corner of the cosmos. Dr. Sarah Chen, the chief scientist aboard Elena's ship, stood next to her as they watched the aliens work. "They are taking everything," Dr. Chen said quietly. "The communication networks, the trade routes, even the emergency rescue beacons. They want us completely cut off." Quote, Elena nodded. She understood the message. Humanity was being erased from galactic civilization. In a few years, most alien children would probably never learn that humans had existed at all. The last alien ship to leave human space was a Vesperian merchant vessel. Its captain sent a final transmission to the human fleet. "This is Captain Zil Moon of the merchant ship Golden Prophet. I want you to know that not all of us agreed with this decision. Some of us will remember what humanity did for the galaxy, but we must follow the will of the Confederation Council. Farewell, humans. May you find peace in isolation." And then they were gone. The hyperspace routes collapsed, leaving humanity alone in the dark. Elena gathered her senior officers in the ship's briefing room. The mood was grim. Some officers wanted to fight, to follow the aliens and demand justice. Others suggested trying to contact sympathetic alien groups. A few even talked about surrender. Dr. Chen listened to all the suggestions, then stood up slowly. "We are alone now," she said. "But we are not helpless. The aliens think they have trapped us, but they have actually freed us. For 30 years, they controlled our technology. They decided what we could learn and what we could build. They kept us dependent on their systems." She looked around the room at the faces of humanity's best and brightest. "Now we can build whatever we want. We can research whatever interests us. We can become whatever we choose to become. The aliens made a mistake. They think they know what humans are capable of when we are controlled and limited. They have no idea what we can do when we are desperate and free." Elena felt something stirring in her chest. Not hope exactly, but something harder. Something more dangerous. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" Dr. Chen smiled. And for the first time since the evacuation began, it was not a sad smile. "I am suggesting that we show the galaxy what humans can really do. They wanted us gone because we were unpredictable. Let us give them unpredictable. They cast us away because we were too creative. Let us show them what human creativity looks like when it has no limits." Elena looked out at the stars beyond human space. Somewhere, out there, aliens were celebrating their victory. They thought they had solved their human problem. They believed they had seen the last of humanity's troublesome innovations. They were wrong. The real human problem was just beginning. Elena turned back to her officers and saw the same hard determination in their eyes that she felt in her own heart. "Then let us get to work," she said. 10 years after the abandonment, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the ruins of New Geneva Colony. The settlement that had once housed 50,000 people was now empty, except for the wind that blew through broken windows and collapsed domes. "Another one gone," said Captain Torres, Chen's security escort. His voice was bitter. "That makes 3 colonies we've had to evacuate this year." Chen nodded sadly as she reviewed the data on her tablet. New Geneva was the latest victim of the resource crisis that had been strangling human civilization since the aliens cut them off from galactic trade. Without access to rare elements and advanced materials, many human colonies simply could not survive. The first decade after abandonment had been brutal. Food shortages on the outer worlds had killed thousands. 3 colonies had failed completely when their life support systems broke down and replacement parts could not be obtained. The human population had dropped by almost 20%. But Chen had not come to New Geneva to mourn. She was here to salvage. Her teams were carefully removing every piece of alien technology they could find, taking it back to the secret research stations hidden in the asteroid belt. "Dr. Chen," called one of her technicians. "We found something interesting in the colony's power plant." Chen followed him into the damaged building. There, partially buried under debris, was an alien fusion reactor. It was small by galactic standards, barely enough to power a single city block. But it was intact. "Perfect," Chen said. "Get it loaded onto the transport. Every piece of alien tech brings us closer to understanding their secrets." The trip back to Research Station Alpha took 2 days. The station was built inside a hollowed-out asteroid, invisible to any casual observer. Inside, thousands of humanity's best scientists and engineers worked around the clock on Project Phoenix. Chen walked through the main laboratory, past teams working on different alien technologies. One group was studying Koran weapons, trying to understand how they generated so much power from such small energy cells. Another team was analyzing Zilani ship hulls, learning how they could be so light, yet so strong. The most important work was happening in Lab 7, where Chen's own team was working on the greatest prize of all. A damaged alien FTL drive they had recovered from a crashed scout ship. "Any progress?" Chen asked her lead engineer, Marcus Webb. Webb looked up from a complex diagram covering his entire workstation. "We're getting closer. The aliens use quantum tunneling to punch holes in space-time. But their method requires those beacon networks. They literally cannot travel faster than light without external guidance. What about us? Can we build our own beacons?" Webb shook his head. "That is the wrong question, Doctor. The aliens think small. They build systems that depend on infrastructure, on control, on careful planning. But what if we could build an FTL drive that needs no beacons at all? Chen felt her heart rate increase. Is that possible? Maybe. The math is incredibly complex. But I think we can create stable quantum tunnels without external guidance. It would require massive amounts of processing power to calculate the jumps in real time. Chen smiled. Processing power we can provide. Dr. Kim's artificial intelligence project has been making excellent progress. The aliens are terrified of true AI. So they never developed it properly. We have no such fears. The artificial intelligence laboratory was 3 levels down from the main research areas. Dr. Kim had been working on AI systems that could think and adapt like humans, but faster and more precisely than any biological brain. Sarah, Dr. Kim called out when Chen entered. Perfect timing. I want you to meet Athena. Athena? Advanced Tactical and Heuristic Electronic Neural Assistant. She is our first truly autonomous artificial intelligence. A pleasant female voice filled the room. Hello, Dr. Chen. I have been following the FTL Drive project with great interest. I believe I can solve the navigation calculations required for beacon-independent, faster-than-light travel. Chen stared at the computer console in amazement. You can understand our research? I can understand it, improve it, and suggest better alternatives. For example, your current approach to quantum tunneling is inefficient. I have calculated 17 different improvements that would increase speed and reduce energy requirements. This was the breakthrough Chen had been hoping for. While aliens built careful, controlled systems, humans were creating something completely new. They were combining technologies in ways that would terrify any alien engineer. Over the following months, the work accelerated dramatically. Athena could process information thousands of times faster than human scientists. She could run millions of simulations in the time it took humans to complete one. Most importantly, she could think creatively, finding solutions that pure logic might miss. The first test of the new FTL drive took place 2 years later. A small, unmanned probe equipped with the beacon-independent drive successfully jumped to a nearby star system and back. When the probe returned with perfect navigation data and no sign of damage, the research station erupted in celebration. But Chen was already thinking bigger. In her private office, she called together the leaders of humanity's most important projects. We have mastered faster-than-light travel, she announced. But that is only the beginning. I want to know what else the aliens have been hiding from us. I want to push beyond everything they told us was possible. Elena Rodriguez, now promoted to admiral, was one of the people at the meeting. What do you have in mind, Doctor? Chen activated a holographic display showing the galaxy. The aliens control the valuable systems near the galactic center. But look at these regions. She highlighted vast empty areas between the galactic arms. They ignore these zones completely. They consider them worthless voids, with nothing worth claiming. Because there is nothing there, said Admiral Rodriguez. That is what they want us to think. But our new deep space sensors have detected something interesting. Massive energy signatures in some of those empty systems. Structures that are clearly artificial, but ancient. Much older than current galactic civilization. Dr. Webb leaned forward. Are you suggesting there was another civilization? One that existed before the current alien powers? I am suggesting that we find out. We have the technology to reach those distant systems now. We have AI systems that can analyze whatever we find. Most importantly, we have something the aliens do not have. What is that? Asked Admiral Rodriguez. Chen looked around at the faces of humanity's survivors. These people had lost their homes, their friends, their place in the galaxy. But they had not lost their courage or their curiosity. We have nothing left to lose. The aliens think they have seen the worst of human determination. They have no idea what we are capable of when we stop trying to fit into their vision of civilization and start building our own. The meeting ended with unanimous agreement. Humanity would expand into the void between the stars, exploring regions that no current galactic power had ever bothered to examine. They would build their own civilization, using technologies the aliens feared to develop. As the others left, Chen remained in her office, looking out at the stars. Somewhere in the darkness, ancient secrets waited to be discovered. And humanity, cast away by the galaxy, would be the ones to find them. Captain Maria Santos stepped out of her ship and onto the surface of a dead world. The planet had no name in any galactic database, just a number assigned by her survey team. Void 7 Alpha. According to their scans, no intelligent life had walked on this world for over 3 million years, but someone had definitely been here. The structures before her stretched across the entire horizon. Massive pyramidal buildings made of some unknown metal that still gleamed despite countless eons of exposure. Between them, crystalline spires reached toward the purple sky like frozen lightning bolts. "My God," whispered her science officer, Dr. Patel, as he emerged from the landing craft. "It is an entire city. Maybe an entire civilization." Santos activated her communicator. "Survey Team 7 to command. We have found something incredible here. You need to see this." Back on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen received the transmission with growing excitement. For 3 years, human exploration teams had been pushing deeper into the void regions that alien civilizations ignored. Most expeditions found nothing but empty space and dead rocks. But occasionally, very rarely, they found evidence that something else had been there first. "Athena," Chen said to the AI system that now helped coordinate all human research. "Analysis of the structures from Void 7 Alpha?" The artificial intelligence's voice filled the room immediately. "The architecture is consistent with previous discoveries in the void sectors. The builders used self-assembling materials and quantum-level engineering. Their technology was significantly more advanced than current galactic civilization." Chen studied the images from Santos's team. The builders, whoever they were, had created something amazing. But more importantly, they had left it behind. "Dr. Chen," Athena continued, "I am detecting automated systems within the structures. Some are still functional after millions of years." "Still functional? What kind of systems?" "Manufacturing systems, construction robots, resource processing facilities. The builders appear to have created self-replicating technology that can convert raw materials into finished products without biological oversight." Chen felt her pulse quicken. Self-replicating manufacturing was the ultimate goal of any spacefaring civilization. If they could understand this technology, humanity would never again face resource shortages or equipment failures. Over the following months, human teams spread across the void sectors, finding more builder sites. Each discovery revealed new wonders. On Void 12 Delta, they found automated shipyards still building vessels after eons of abandonment. On Void 3 Gamma, massive ring-shaped structures generated artificial gravity fields that could support entire ecosystems. The most amazing discovery came from Captain Santos's continued exploration of Void 7 Alpha. Deep beneath the surface, her team found the builder's central computer network. "It is incredible," Santos reported during her weekly transmission to Earth. "The entire system is still active. Athena has been communicating with it, learning their language and protocols." Dr. Chen immediately boarded a ship to visit the site herself. The journey through human space had become much easier now that they had perfected their beacon-independent FTL drives. What once took months, now took days. When she arrived at Void 7 Alpha, Chen found Santos and her team working inside a vast underground chamber. The walls were covered with displays showing information in the builder's complex symbol system. In the center, a holographic interface allowed human technicians to communicate directly with the ancient AI. "Dr. Chen," Athena's voice came from speakers throughout the chamber. "I have established full communication with the builder network. They call themselves the Architects of Form. They were the dominant civilization in this galaxy approximately 4 million years ago." "What happened to them?" Chen asked. "According to their records, they achieved what they called transcendence. They evolved beyond physical existence and departed for higher dimensions. Before leaving, they programmed their automated systems to continue working indefinitely." Chen looked around the chamber in wonder. "So all of this machinery has been waiting here for millions of years?" "Correct. The architects designed their systems to assist any future civilization that might discover them. They believed that advanced technology should be shared, not hoarded. This was exactly what humanity needed to hear. While current galactic powers fought over resources and territory, the builders had left behind the tools to create unlimited abundance. Can we use their systems? Chen asked. More than use them, Athena replied. I can upgrade them. The architect's technology is incredibly advanced, but they never developed true artificial intelligence. They were too concerned with careful control and predictable outcomes. With my help, their systems can become far more efficient and creative. The transformation began immediately. Under Athena's guidance, human engineers began modifying the builder technology. They combined advanced alien engineering with human innovation and artificial intelligence. The results exceeded everyone's expectations. Within a year, automated construction ships were converting asteroids into massive space habitats. Ring-shaped worlds big enough to house millions of people were assembled in months rather than decades. Mobile shipyards could build entire fleets while traveling between star systems. Elena Rodriguez, now admiral of the growing human space navy, stood on the bridge of humanity's first mobile command base. The massive structure was part city, part factory, part fortress. It could house 500,000 people and manufacture everything from starships to personal computers. How many systems do we control now? She asked her aide. Over 200, Admiral. And the number is growing every day. Our automated scouts are finding new builder sites throughout the void regions. Rodriguez nodded with satisfaction. In just 5 years, humanity had expanded from their small corner of space to control more territory than some of the major alien empires. But they had done it quietly, hidden in regions that galactic civilization considered worthless. What about population? Approaching 2 billion, Admiral. The new habitats can support much larger populations than planetary colonies. And with unlimited resources from the builder technology, we can expand as fast as people want to have families. Rodriguez smiled. When the aliens had cast humanity away, they had expected them to slowly decline and disappear. Instead, humans had discovered technology that made galactic civilization look primitive. But the most important development was not the technology or the territory. It was what humanity was becoming. Free from alien control and restrictions, they had begun to think in ways that no current galactic power could imagine. Dr. Chen called it post-galactic thinking. Instead of fighting over limited resources like the alien empires, humans created abundance. Instead of rigid hierarchies and ancient traditions, they built flexible systems that could adapt to any challenge. Instead of fearing artificial intelligence, they embraced it as a partner. Dr. Chen, Athena said during one of their planning sessions, I have been analyzing galactic civilization. The current powers are stagnant. They have not innovated meaningfully in thousands of years. They are so focused on maintaining control that they have forgotten how to grow. And us? Humanity is becoming something entirely new. You are combining the best of biological creativity with artificial intelligence, ancient builder technology with human innovation. In another generation, you will be more advanced than any civilization this galaxy has ever seen. Chen looked out at the construction sites where new worlds were being assembled from raw matter. Humanity had been cast away by a galaxy that feared their unpredictability. That same unpredictability was now making them into something that no alien power could possibly expect. The galaxy had made a terrible mistake. They had given humanity freedom, resources, and motivation to exceed every limitation they had previously faced. Soon, very soon, the galaxy would learn what they had created. But first, humanity had an empire to build. Fleet Admiral Zex Kalar of the Zalani Empire was having a very bad day. His long-range sensors were showing impossible readings from the void sectors. Energy signatures that made no sense according to everything he knew about galactic physics. Run the scans again, he ordered his science officer. These readings must be errors. The Zalani scientist's golden skin had turned pale with worry. Admiral, I have run the scans 17 times. The readings are consistent. There are massive artificial structures in the void regions, hundreds of them. Zex Kalar stared at the display, showing energy patterns that dwarfed anything in Zalani space. According to the sensors, someone had built installations in the empty regions between galactic arms that were larger than entire Zalani star systems. Who could build such things? The Korans? The Vesperians? Unknown, Admiral. The energy signatures do not match any known technology. Whoever built these structures has capabilities far beyond current galactic civilization. A chill ran down Zex Kalar's spine. For 1,000 years, the Zalani Empire had been one of the three dominant powers in the galaxy. Their technology was ancient, refined, and supremely advanced. The idea that someone could build installations they could not understand was terrifying. "Prepare the exploration fleet," he ordered. "We must investigate these anomalies immediately." 3 days later, Zex Kalar's fleet of 50 ships entered the void sectors. What they found there shattered everything they thought they knew about their galaxy. Massive ring-shaped worlds hung in the darkness, each one large enough to house billions of inhabitants. Construction ships the size of small moons were assembling new structures from processed asteroid material. And everywhere, moving between the installations, were vessels of a design no one in the fleet recognized. "Admiral," his communications officer called out in a shaking voice. "We are being scanned. Multiple contacts are approaching our position." On the main display, a single ship came into view. It was enormous, 3 times the size of Zex Kalar's flagship, with weapons arrays that bristled along its hull, like the spines of some massive creature. "Unknown vessel," came a transmission in perfect Zalani. "You are entering restricted space. Identify yourself immediately." Zex Kalar felt his heart's racing. The voice speaking to him sounded familiar somehow, but he could not place it. More importantly, whoever was speaking had called this restricted space, as if they owned these supposedly empty regions. "This is Fleet Admiral Zex Kalar of the Zalani Empire," he replied. "These sectors are unclaimed void. We are conducting a routine exploration mission." There was a pause, and then something that chilled Zex Kalar to his core. Laughter. Someone was laughing at him. "Admiral Zex Kalar," the voice said, and now he recognized the accent. It was human. "This is Admiral Martinez of the Terran Imperial Navy. These sectors have been claimed by humanity for the past 15 years. You are trespassing in our territory." "Impossible," Zex Kalar whispered. Then, louder, "Humans were expelled from galactic space. You have no presence outside your original systems. Times change, Admiral, as you can see." The human ship moved closer, and Zex Kalar got his first clear look at it. The vessel was a work of art and terror combined. Its hull was covered in armor that seemed to shimmer and flow like liquid metal. Weapons ports lined its surface in patterns that suggested devastating firepower. Most disturbing of all, the ship moved with impossible grace for something so large. "How is this possible?" Zex Kalar asked his science officer. "Admiral, their technology is completely unknown. The ship's construction materials, its propulsion system, its weapons, none of it matches any database records. It is as if they built their entire civilization using principles we do not understand." More human ships began to appear around the Zalani fleet. First dozens, then hundreds. Each vessel was unique in design but clearly part of the same technological family. Some were massive battleships bristling with weapons. Others were sleek cruisers that moved like dancers through space. A few were so large they could only be described as mobile cities. "Admiral Martinez," Zex Kalar said carefully, "perhaps we can discuss this situation. The Zalani Empire seeks peaceful contact with all spacefaring civilizations." "Peaceful contact?" Martinez's voice carried bitter amusement. "How interesting. I remember when the Zalani Empire voted to expel humanity from galactic civilization. Peace was not your concern then. That was different. The Confederation Council made that decision for the good of galactic stability. And now we are stable, Admiral. Very stable. Let me show you exactly how stable we have become." The space around Zex Kalar's fleet suddenly lit up with targeting lasers. Every human ship had weapons trained on the Zalani vessels, but worse than that, holographic displays appeared throughout his flagship. showing similar scenes across the galaxy. Human ships hung in space near every major Zilani installation. The capital world, the main fleet bases, the border fortifications, all of them had human vessels in firing position. "This is impossible," Zexcalar breathed. "How are you in all these locations simultaneously?" "We have been watching you, Admiral. We have been watching all of you. The Corans, the Vesperians, every major power in the galaxy. We have been studying your weaknesses, mapping your territories, positioning our forces. The only reason you are still alive is because we prefer negotiation to extermination." Zexcalar felt his command chair shaking and realized his hands were trembling. In the space of minutes, everything he believed about galactic power had been turned upside down. Humanity, the species they had dismissed as too primitive to matter, had somehow become the dominant force in the galaxy. "What do you want?" he asked quietly. "What we want, Admiral, is very simple. We want the galaxy to remember that actions have consequences. You cast us away because you found us inconvenient. You cut us off from civilization because you feared what we might become. Well, now you know what we became." The human ships began to move in perfect formation, demonstrating a level of coordination that suggested advanced artificial intelligence control. The Zilani fleet, once proud of their disciplined maneuvers, looked clumsy and slow by comparison. "However," Admiral Martinez continued, "we are not interested in conquest. We have no desire to rule over alien species or occupy your worlds. We have built our own civilization, one that makes your empires look like children playing with toys. Then what? We want recognition. We want respect. And most importantly, we want to ensure that no species ever again suffers what humanity endured. The galaxy is about to receive a new set of rules. Admiral, rules that we will enforce." Zexcalar looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. These were the finest officers in the Zilani Empire, but they all looked as shocked and terrified as he felt. "You cannot control the entire galaxy," he said, trying to sound more confident than he felt. "Watch us." What happened next would be remembered as the most impressive demonstration of power in galactic history. Across Zilani space, human ships simultaneously disabled the Empire's entire fleet. Not destroyed, disabled. Engines shut down, weapons went offline. Life support systems stopped working. Then, after exactly 6 minutes, everything came back online. The message was clear. Humanity could have destroyed the Zilani Empire in minutes if they had chosen to do so. "Admiral," Martinez said calmly, "return to your capital and inform your government that humanity requests formal diplomatic contact. We have similar messages for the Coran hegemony and the Vesperian trade union. It is time for the galaxy to learn about the new power structure." As Zexcalar's fleet limped home with their damaged pride and shattered assumptions, one thought kept running through his mind. The humans had not just survived their exile. They had thrived, and now they were back, stronger than anyone had imagined possible. The galaxy was about to change forever. Admiral Elena Chen, daughter of the late Dr. Sarah Chen, stood at the head of the conference table on Vesperian Station. Around her sat the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The Emperor of the Zilani, the War Chief of the Coran hegemony, and the Trade Master of the Vesperian Union. All of them looked terrified. "Honored representatives," Chen began in a calm voice, "thank you for accepting humanity's invitation to this conference. I trust your journey here was comfortable?" The Zilani Emperor, his golden skin pale with stress, spoke first. "Admiral Chen, let us be direct. What does humanity want? Your fleets could have destroyed us all. Why did you call for negotiations instead?" Chen smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and terrifying. "Because, Your Majesty, we are not conquerors. We are civilizers. The galaxy has been stuck in the same destructive patterns for thousands of years. Border wars, resource conflicts, technological stagnation. We offer something better." Trademaster Veclon of the Vesperians leaned forward. His people were merchants above all else. and he understood power dynamics better than most. You speak of offering something, but your ships surround our homeworlds. This feels more like surrender than negotiation. And yet here you are, alive and unharmed, Chen pointed out. When was the last time your three empires went a full year without some kind of military conflict? When did you last make a scientific breakthrough that improved life for your citizens? How long has it been since any of your species truly advanced? The silence that followed was telling. Chen activated a holographic display that showed the galaxy from above. The territories of the three major powers were highlighted in different colors, along with dozens of smaller nations and independent systems. Look at this map, Chen continued. Every border is a potential flashpoint. Every resource-rich system is a source of conflict. Every technological advantage becomes a reason for war. You have built a galaxy that runs on fear, suspicion, and endless competition. War Chief Groktar of the Korans slammed his massive fist on the table. You speak of peace, but you threaten us with your weapons. What gives humans the right to judge how we live? Chen's smile never wavered. The right of superior force, War Chief, but more importantly, the right of better ideas. Let me show you what humanity has accomplished in the 20 years since you cast us away. The holographic display changed to show human territory. What the aliens saw made them gasp in shock. Hundreds of systems, thousands of installations, billions of humans living in massive ring worlds and artificial habitats. This is our empire, Chen said proudly. Built without conquering a single alien world, without enslaving a single foreign species, without starting a single war. We found empty space and made it bloom with life. The display zoomed in on one of the ring worlds, showing cities and forests and oceans under an artificial sky. Each of these habitats houses 50 million people in comfort and abundance. Our citizens want for nothing. Our children grow up without fear of war or shortage. Our scientists push the boundaries of knowledge every day. We have achieved what your species spent millennia fighting over, true prosperity. Impossible, whispered the Zilani Emperor. No civilization can expand that quickly without conflict. There must be wars, rebellions, resource shortages, Chen laughed. Why would there be? We do not fight over limited resources because we create unlimited resources. We do not have rebellions because our citizens are free and prosperous. We do not wage wars because we have everything we need. She gestured, and the display changed again, showing human technology in action. Massive, automated factories converted asteroids into construction materials. Ships larger than cities moved between stars carrying millions of tons of goods. Most amazing of all, the aliens could see that everything was coordinated by artificial intelligence of incredible sophistication. The builders who came before you left us gifts, Chen explained. Technology that makes scarcity obsolete. But more than that, they taught us to think beyond the limitations that trap your civilizations. Trademaster Veclon was studying the displays with the sharp eye of a merchant. Your production capabilities, they exceed the output of our entire trade union. How is this possible? Because we do not waste time and resources on conflict. Every ship we build makes our people stronger, not our enemies weaker. Every installation we create adds to galactic prosperity instead of taking from it. Every innovation we develop is shared freely throughout human space. War Chief Groktar was less impressed by the economics. Fine words. Human. But power without force is meaningless. How do you maintain order in such a vast territory? 1. Kriyes. 1. Chen's expression became more serious. Through the principle we call enlightened self-interest. Our people prosper when humanity prospers. They have no reason to fight us and every reason to support us. But when external threats arise, the display changed to show the demonstration that had terrified the alien fleets. Human ships disabling entire enemy forces without destruction, precision beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. We protect what we have built, completely. Absolutely. Without hesitation. The three alien leaders exchanged glances. They were beginning to understand the trap they had walked into. Humanity had not just become powerful, they had become something entirely new. "What do you propose?" asked the Zilani Emperor quietly. Chen deactivated the display and looked directly at each alien leader. "Simple. We propose to bring the same prosperity to the entire galaxy. No more border wars, no more resource conflicts, no more technological stagnation. Under human guidance, every species can achieve the abundance we have created." "Under human rule, you mean," growled War Chief Groktar. "Under human protection," Chen corrected. "Your species will govern themselves as they see fit. Your worlds will remain your own. Your cultures will be preserved and celebrated. But major conflicts between spacefaring civilizations will be prevented. Permanently." She stood and walked to the window overlooking Vesperian Station. Beyond the station, human ships hung in perfect formation. A visible reminder of the new reality. The galaxy cast humanity away because you feared our unpredictability. You were right to fear us, but for the wrong reasons. We are not dangerous because we start wars. We are dangerous because we end them. Trademaster Veclon spoke carefully. "And if we refuse this guidance?" Chen turned back to face him. "Then you continue as you are, fighting endless wars over scraps, while humanity continues to grow stronger. Eventually, the resource shortages and conflicts will destroy your civilizations anyway. We offer you a choice. Prosperity under our protection, or slow extinction under your current system." The silence stretched for long minutes. Finally, the Zilani Emperor spoke. "What guarantees do we have? How do we know humanity will not become the same kind of oppressors you claim to oppose?" "You have the guarantee of our self-interest," Chen replied. "We have built a civilization based on abundance and growth. Oppression and exploitation are inefficient. They create resistance, reduce productivity, and waste resources. We have no desire to rule over unwilling subjects, when we can have prosperous partners instead." She activated one final display, showing human space with trade routes extending to alien territories. "Under our guidance, your civilizations will become richer, safer, and more advanced than ever before. Your people will live longer, healthier lives. Your scientists will have access to technologies that seemed impossible. Your children will grow up in a galaxy without fear." War Chief Groktar studied the display with the eye of a military strategist. "And the price for this paradise?" Quote, "Simple," Chen said with a smile. "No more wars between major civilizations, no more exploitation of weaker species, no more hoarding of technology that could benefit everyone. In exchange, humanity guarantees your security, your prosperity, and your freedom to develop as you choose." The three alien leaders looked at each other, then back at Chen. They were learning what everyone in the galaxy would soon understand. Humanity had not returned to seek revenge for their exile. They had returned to fulfill their destiny as the galaxy's protectors and guides. The vote was unanimous. The new galactic order would begin immediately, with humanity as its guardians. As the alien delegates departed to carry the news to their people, Chen remained at the window. Her aide approached with a concerned expression. "Admiral, do you really think they will accept human guidance willingly?" Chen smiled as she watched the alien ships leave under escort from human vessels. "They will learn to accept it, Commander. Because the alternative is watching their civilizations slowly crumble while humanity continues to thrive. We have given them the choice between prosperity and decline. Most intelligent beings choose prosperity." End quote. She turned from the window and walked toward her own ship. There was much work to be done. A galaxy to transform, civilizations to uplift, and a peace to maintain. Humanity had been cast away by the galaxy once. They would never allow it to happen again, to themselves or anyone else.